Welcome to Game Grains, the whiskey gaming channel. I'm your player one, Richard. Now, I, like many of you, enjoy a good double oaked bourbon. There's something to be said about those sweet toffee and butterscotch notes, the soft toasted oakiness, and the velvety finish that often lingers on your tongue. There's so much to enjoy and appreciate about a good double oaked bourbon. But can the same be said about a double oaked rye? How do the traditional baking spice and occasional mint notes taste when it comes to the extra oakiness of that second barrel? Well, I'm going to explore those questions today as I take a look at a single barrel double oaked rye from the folks over at Crittenden's. So grab your controllers, pour yourself a dram, and let's get into it. Now, as many of you already know, Crittenden's Cut Above, located in Kiln, Mississippi, has got to be one of my top 10 favorite distilleries. The owner and master distiller, Matt Crittenden, is constantly putting out amazing whiskey. From his bottled and bond to his finished whiskeys, just about everything that he puts out is amazing. But there is one drawback, and that is if you do not live in the state of Mississippi, chances of you getting your hands on a bottle are slim to none. Well, Brandon over at Brewtally Honest Bourbon is helping to change that. He has teamed up with Crittenden's Cut Above to make their products available on his website, and they have quite the selection there. Now, unfortunately, this bottle is sold out now, but there are other great releases on there, from stout finishes to beer finishes and everything in between. And I'll make sure that I leave a link to his online store available down in the description. All right, now before we can dive into the whiskey, you know we have to unpack this bottle. Now, this is a 5-year age-stated whiskey coming in at a 113.88 proof. Now, I am really intrigued about the mash bill, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. Now, the mash bill is comprised of a 60% rye, 28% corn, 12% malted barley, and the secondary cask was a char number 1 barrel. Now, the reason that I'm interested about the mash bill is that it's not a traditional 95-5 rye mash bill. You have that 28% corn, which I think is what they chose to add a sweet component there, and then that 12% malted barley to really just kind of bring everything together. So I would imagine that this is going to be a lot sweeter than your traditional rye. We'll probably get some of those caramel notes from that secondary cask. I'm anxious to see how much of that oakiness is going to come into play here, if it's going to be even present at all. So, all right, enough talking. Let's dive into the Glen. First thing on the nose. This is heavenly. So I say recently, within the past year, bought my first and only Hard Truth bottle. It was a sweet mash rye. It wasn't their traditional offering. I can't remember what it was. It had a gold sticker on the side. But anyway, I got into it. Absolutely loved that bottle. Tore through it within a couple of months. Shared it with some other people. Fantastic. This nose here is very reminiscent of that. So you do get some of those traditional rye notes. There is definitely a light underlying mint, but there is tons of sweetness here. There is definitely a stone fruit that is present. My go-to is apricot, and I feel like that's kind of close, maybe something else, but the nose is heavenly. I could just live in this. Now, I will say it does have a bit of an ethanol, so, but as it starts to open up, that would go away, obviously, and we would probably get more of those other notes. So, just on the nose alone, I am ready to tear into the second part of this, which is the taste. So, cheers. I'm sorry for those of you that missed out on this. This is amazing. So you get those traditional rye spices that are there, but they're not as forward or as abundant or harsh as you would get out of a traditional rye mash bill. They're softened. None of that mint, at least not in this sip, is present. I am starting to get some of those sweeter notes, so a butterscotch, kind of like we were talking about earlier, almost even like a buttercream. As I'm sitting here talking to you, my mouth is just salivating. And the finish that I mentioned before with a double oaked bourbon is definitely here. It's almost just like it's just coating and sitting on my tongue, almost velvet creaminess that is sitting there. This is extraordinary. I'm going to get in again because I got a little bit more in the Glen, and this is just really, really good. Cheers. So I was expecting a little bit more oakiness from this, more oak influence, more present wood notes. Now I am getting a slight drying in the mid palate, more towards the front mid, which is what I traditionally get with a double oak or a finished whiskey. But it's noticeable, but not super drying. Not a lot of oakiness, if any. Those other flavors really kind of reign at the front. So sweet, butterscotch, light baking spice, almost a buttercream note. I am regretting not having opened this sooner. This is absolutely amazing. And I can't wait to turn off the camera so I can dive into this some more. So with that, this is amazing. So with that, again, keep an eye on the Brewtally Honest Bourbon website. Again, there will be a link in the description below for new things that are coming out of Crittenden's Cut Above. So that way, hopefully, you can get your hands on a bottle like this, as well as some of the other products that Crittenden's has to offer. Now, as always, thank you for watching and supporting this channel. If you haven't already, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. I'm currently working on a woodworking project where I've taken a barrel, split it in half in the hopes to make it into a barrel bar that I'm going to start filming from, hopefully in the near future. We are more than halfway through that project. If you would, please make sure that you like this video. It really just helps to grow the channel and bring awareness to the cool things, at least cool things I think, that I'm doing here. And then lastly, in the comments below, one of two things. Have you ever tried Crittenden's Cut Above, or do you have a favorite double oaked rye? Either one of those or both, share them with me down in the comments below. As always, thank you for watching. I'm your favorite player one, Richard. Have a good one.